Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. You're welcome to Morning Spring. Today, the last day in the month of January, Wednesday, 31st of January, 2024. Thank you for staying with us all month. That's the last one for this month. We're so excited that you have been very, very supportive. I was sticking with us, especially at this belt, at this time. FEMI Ojo is my name. A Morning Spring is where we look at very critical matters, issues of public importance. That's what we do here. The aim is at having a better and a working nation, a society and a nation that we are proud of. That's what we do here every day. Once again, I welcome you, and on behalf of my G here, good morning.
Good morning, Femi Ojo. How are you doing today?
Great.
As they say that whatever has a beginning surely must have an end. It's just that this end launches us into a new beginning. It is the last day in the month of January, and we're looking forward to the beautiful month of February. My name is EVELYN OHIOLEI, and we appreciate you for joining us on the midweek edition of Morning Spring, like we always do. We have different segments of this program, starting with the newspaper review program, trying to see what is going on in our country and beyond, as reported by different national dailies. Then we'll move into the conversation where we look at critical issues in our country, in our economy, what is going on, and we have different stakeholders, policymakers, politicians to talk to these issues. Femi.
Right. In introductions, I said what has a beginning must have an end. I wish that is the situation with the Naira, the free fall of the Naira right now. I'm bereft of the kind of word to use, Evelyn. I wish it follows that your intro that was as the beginning must have an end, because
it will have an end one day.
I hope so, because let's just call it what it is. The cost of living wants to kill the living right now. It's just as simple and basic as that. The I and E official window, Naira to dollar, 1,350, 384, 1,400, and it's looking like it's a free fall. Now, I'm not even talking like like an economist here. I'm not Paul Alaje or Dr. Guyemi here. Kudos to them. But then, as a Nigerian, this is becoming alarming. It's becoming extremely difficult to keep up your responsibility as possibly a father, a husband, a mother, or even to take care of yourself. Yeah. Apart from you being able to take care of others, and it's because of these. The economy is in ruins. Let's just say it as it is.
Yes, like to borrow your words, it's becoming alarming, and it's just like the I&E window. I mean, the dollar exchange, the I&E window is actually chasing after the parallel market, because just last week the parallel market was at 1,400, and this week the official rate is now between 1.3 and 1.4. Right. So we just hope that the right things. I mean, all we can do is actually hope and speak to these issues. Really,
we need hope. Now
beyond on the people at the helm of affairs to do what is right to change this narrative. Like someone told me, Evelyn, if you want to buy anything, don't procrastinate, don't postpone, just get it, because by the next time you're going to, when you say you're ready to get it, the price may have doubled.
Almost double.
So it's better you just get what you need to get now, then you just relax, because
Evelyn, you're talking like
tomorrow in Nigeria
you're talking like an elite here, like you have the money, so let me just spend it now. Some don't have this money.
It is what it is.
Some are working. I think it used to be like 50% of people's incomes are being spent on food, but right now it's like the whole of the income is just being spent just to feed, and you cannot even feed with what you really want.
When your take home cannot take you.
That's just the cost of living is about to kill the living. And these are the issues. Now, economic aside, security is one thing. 2 monarchs killed in Ekiti like 2 days ago. Another one, by the whiskers or by the god of his forefathers escaped. And then in the same Ekiti state, school children were kidnapped with their teachers as well. That is just in a state. What exactly are we doing here in Nigeria? What's wrong with us? When government handlers come and say it's too early, I'm thinking that narrative is no more selling. With those who stood on the mandate, with the Kwakwansia, the obedience, the articulated, it's not about politics has ended right now. It's about governance. And we must just speak truth to power. Things are not good. Let's just say it as it is. That's the situation in which we find ourselves right now. And, there was this video that surfaced yesterday. You know how people can just find videos of Vice President Kashim Shettima, I'm sure before he became the Vice President, when he was talking about the fact that he has a friend in Kano, and they were passing an airlight, and some persons threw stones at the windscreen of the man. The man asked why. They told the man, you can't be in comfort, and we are just there. We can't even afford the basic, not luxury, things of life. And he said if things are not taken, seriously, that might be the lot of, the nation. That's Kashim Shettima before he became the Vice President. I hope we don't get to that point now, because things are very bad. Evelyn.
Things are bad. Now we move to the newspaper review, but let's just go for this break. When we return, we'll look at the papers.
All right, punching it off, we start with the punch for today on the page, front page of the newspaper. We usually do the headline segment. And of course, Lade Jalabi is there. And I can see him nudging, giggling, Ladeji, here we are. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys
good morning.
again. Well, I don't think you guys are in the category of Nigerians like we that are not really having it good this time around. But I must also say that it's still a good news for some of our young guys out there. Well, the price of dowry has not increased, so you can still go out and get a woman to marry. Good morning, guys.
It's not only getting the woman to marry, it's how you're going to fit the woman in the house.
Leave that. It is a renewed hope agenda, and we are moving. People like FEMI that have it big out there, they are enjoying the situation. So Evelyn, I'm only saying this to young guys, the single guys out there. Go for it.
And Evelyn said it the other time. You want to marry now.
But yes, this is the best time because you never can tell. You never can tell. As a father-in-law, I may decide to increase the dowry of my daughter.
Dress softly, so that people don't think Baba Ola.
Amazing.
All right. Good to have you here, by the way. Paying of dowry is one thing.
Feeding the wife is another thing.
But at this time, it's not just about feeding the wives. The wife, the two of them feeding themselves.
Of course, yes, and maintaining the beautiful wife you married.
Right. We'll start with the punch. Kidnapping epidemic. Very sad one. But that's the reality. Abductors demand 100 million naira for Ekiti school children. Teachers now. Police, NSCDC, Amotekun, OPC, hunters form joint task force, arrest 5 suspects. In the course of the program, we will look into that and more. 100 million naira for the school children and their teachers. If you see the bus in which these children and their teachers were abducted, you will know there is no way this kind of people can produce such a money. Almost rickety boss. 100 million naira. We hope things will be done rightly. We'll get to look into that in the course of our conversation. Quickly, NNPCL, whose South Korean investors for gas project, Big 36, 300 stranded Euro-bound Nigerians return from Libya. Euro-bound Nigerians return from Libya, because obviously they are stranded. Bottom stream, Fashoranti remains Afenifere leader, and Oadebanja secretary, Ogun. 2 police inspectors, corporal dismissed for robbery. awkwardly interesting one. Now, Adeleke imposes curfew as two die in communal clash. We looked into this yesterday. The foreign Lobu crisis, needless deaths, I must say. Top strip, Naira plunges in official market. CBN wants forex dealers, wants them. Okay. Nigeria IMF foresees weaker growth. But Nigeria IMF is foreseeing weaker growth. And 200,000 Naira minimum wage no longer realistic. Credited to the labor, and of course the picture of Joe Ajero is there. When we want to say, do you have it? All right, Ladeji, quickly, a lot of talking points here. We're going to do it a minute each. Naira plunges in official market. CBN wants forex dealers. For elites like yourself who deals in dollars, is plunging. Ladeji.
Yeah, well, I don't know where you saw me dealing in dollars, but Femi, when you introduced me, I actually decided to come in on that soft mode.
Yeah.
Because if I were to bring the anger on me into the show, apparently police vehicle will be waiting for me after the show. Because it is sad. And it is sad that we keep hoping. Hope will not solve this situation. We need to get something drastic done. Enough of all the rhetorics of we are warning the FX traders, we are doing this, we are doing that. What are the policies in place to make Naira gain against dollar? Prayers will not do it. I said it on Monday.
They've put out the policy severally.
What
is not working?
It's not. So if it is not working, try other things. What are we manufacturing? We borrow every now and then to spend on frivolities. If we don't stop that nonsense, we won't get anywhere, Femi. We borrow to buy vehicles, things that doesn't make sense. We are not borrowing to construct roads. We are not borrowing loans to fund our schools. We are not borrowing loans to do reasonable things. But we borrow loans to buy vehicles for officials. And we are saying Naira is not gaining. Femi, go to Abuja. These people don't, even the leaders that you are talking about, how many of them? Ask them. 2022, when we were having the primary elections of major political parties, was it not a dollar spray? Were they not sharing dollars? $25,000 for a candidate. I mean, to what do you call them now? The people that went to represent each state. The delegate. $25,000, $20,000, $15,000. As if dollar is our official, spending note in Nigeria. And we are complaining that Naira is not gaining. It is not prayer. Prayer will not solve it. I believe in God so much, but prayer will not solve this if we do not put in the right, policies, and we do not do the right thing.
That's right. 60 seconds more. 200,000 Naira minimum wage no longer realistic. That's labor. A tripartite committee has been put together. The state, the labor, organized labor, federal government, they all have representatives. But the laborers in that 200,000 Naira is not even realistic again. Credited to labor.
Femi.
Yeah.
I've told you, I feel the labor in Nigeria don't seem serious to me again.
But they are talking now.
I've told you, it is not about when the minimum wage is not working for you that you come out to speak. Our inflation rate is at the highest level as I speak now. So even the 200,000 you're asking for before, that you said is not realistic again now, cannot take you home. That's the reality. The reality. Somebody tweeted yesterday, he said 200,000 Naira now is like 20,000 Naira before. That's just the truth. In fact, if it is up to 20,000 Naira before. So if we had it very good, if we had a running economy, if we had a situation where you don't spend all your take home on transport, on food. In fact, the 200,000 you are talking about, how can you share that in a family of four? Two fathers, a father, a mother, and two children. How do you manage that? So I feel the NLC should go beyond negotiating for minimum wage to tell the government, sit up, make the economy work. If the economy works well, enough of all this every 2 years, every 3 years, we go on strike, we want to negotiate new salaries.
Yeah, Ladeji, that will be all from the front page of the Punch.
All right, from the Punch, we head over to the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. And on the Vanguard newspaper, talking about the worsening insecurity in the country at this moment, focusing on the recent kidnap in Ekiti. Kidnappers abduct pupils, teachers, demand 30 million naira. This is in contrast to what some other dailies are saying, but I'm just going to take that. Police arrest 5 kidnapped suspects. Tinubu orders immediate rescue of students. Monarch killers arrested. Nothing will be spared to rescue pupils, teachers. This is coming from Governor Oyebanji. And we must ensure Nigerians sleep with 2 eyes closed, says Senate President Akpabio. We are deeply troubled. Speaker Abbas cries to Tinubu and reps to convene security summit, tasks Tinubu on security architecture and state police to tackle insecurity challenges, says Governor Makinde. These are the leaders in the country speaking to this issue of insecurity. Away from that, 4.6 billion naira UNSA fund shared to organize prayers against insecurity. This is according to an EFCC witness. Amazing. To organize prayers. I mean, the other day we had a First Lady saying that we should pray, continue to pray for Nigeria against
the endless prayer of the righteous.
And the other day, a governor in the north sent some delegates to pilgrimage. Go and pray.
Fantastic.
All right, so still on Vanguard, AU expresses regret as Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger send formal withdrawal notice to ECOWAS. That story is on page 9. A new minimum wage negotiations will reckon with a situation in West Africa. This, according to committee chair and Ayo Adebanjo Oba Olaita, remain our leaders. Coming from Afenifere. This all on the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. I won't be able to take Mr. and Mrs. for now, so we can have Ladijis quickly speak to this issue. Let's take what's happening in, let's say, all over the country, but at the moment, what happened in Ekiti. When you heard the news, how did it come to you?
Evelyn, I traveled through Ekiti last week, and I had my fears also. So I played a hard one on myself. I had the ticket to fly back. In fact, the ticket was a return one. But I said, no, I want to explore what is really happening on our road again. And, you know, I had my life almost here because the reality is our roads are not safe. And, you know, most of the time, if you ask, why are we not having police posts? You know, not so far from each other. You will still ask yourself, the ones on the road, what are they doing? We got to a particular place, the policeman literally asked the driver for money. And a woman that was sitting beside me said, what if this guy actually had weapons inside the vehicle? What if this guy actually took these people, maybe we were kidnapped victims, you know? All you did was to ask him for money. And that's all. He would take us to wherever he's taking us to. Now, Evelyn, that aside, Ekiti is our neighbor in Osun.
Yes.
And like the systems theory in international relations, we are just a very small system in Nigeria. Before we used to say the insecurity is of the north, Boko Haram is in the north. Evelyn, it is affecting virtually everybody. This may not make the news today, but yesterday, I saw one of the major dailies that a farmer was killed in Imo State by a particular, person because he complained about the fact that his cow were feeding on his farm produce. Now, that is the situation we find ourselves in this country. And you know, every now and then, the president is saying, go and fish out the kidnappers, and the Senate president, these are rhetorics. We've had this every now and then. Evelyn, the president traveled out on a private visit to Paris. We have governors that went to the airport to bid him farewell. The same governor flew to go and greet him there. The national security advisor is with the president in Paris on a private visit. You left Nigeria you left everybody to say, go and take care of yourself. That's the reality. We have a serious situation in our hands. See, let's call a spade a spade. We have a serious, and the fact that all of us fold our hands, and you know the prayer we pray, may it not be my portion and my family member. Those are selfish prayers. We need a nation where you want to travel from, gone are the days that people travel. I love to travel in the night a lot. before, but now you dare not. You don't want to, because a fatherless child like me will not want to dare travel at night. Nobody will pay the ransom. Do you get? So we have a serious situation in our hands that we need to really tackle. And if we do not tackle this, it is spreading like wildfire. Before you used to say, oh, it is far away in the north, it is far away it is getting closer by the day, and we need to tackle this.
All right, thank you so much, Ladiji. Nice submission there. There was a time we only hear of this news far away in the north, and people feel less concerned because they don't even know what's happening. In fact, they'll say, let them continue killing themselves. Now it is just at our back here. The other day we had a kidnap situation in Osun State. Now we had 2 monarchs killed in Ekiti, pupils and teachers kidnapped in Ekiti. Who knows who's next? Yeah, of course. But that will be all for the Vanguard.
Sadly, it's more like the proverbial, the chicken has come home to roost. And it's not a good roosting, I would say. The Guardian is next, and quickly. 7 states on Niger borderline. Bandits, smugglers reign as sanctions, hardship, ground communities. Bandits, smugglers reign as sanctions, hardship, ground communities. You have the picture of the president there, the military junta head there, and some of these concerns, states that are bordering Niger. All right, CBN cautions forex dealers against market manipulation as Naira sliced to 1,500 only. Police officers murder suspect, cultists, others nabbed over crimes in Ogun. Workers demand living wage as federal normal minimum wage now, it seems. Workers demand living wage as FG unveils negotiation committee. Nigeria ranked 145 on Graft Index, scores 25 out of 100 points. I wanted to say that earlier. It's an improvement, by the way. We went 5 places upward, downward now, because it's from 100 being the highest, and the corruption index watch, and then 0 being the cleanest, and Nigeria scored 25 out of 100. I wonder what kind of percentage is that. By the way, moving on, tuition fees hike imminent as private schools spend fortune on security. Private schools are spending on security. So how about the public schools? Interesting. Again, Senate summons service chiefs over insecurity. Sign executive order on unexplained wealth. Indume tells Tinubu, Deji 30 seconds. This is interesting. Sign executive order on unexplained wealth. Indume tells Tinubu.
Many of them, even the person asking the president, even the president himself, if you ask many of them to come out and explain, they just tell you, these are people that got rich by politics. That's the reality. The politics in Nigeria have been seen as a means to get rich quick. Even someone that you know doesn't have a business before he gets into politics. Right. In 4 years, he comes back and he's a billionaire already. So if Ndume is pointing this out, many of them will be guilty. I hope the president, will go this route. But in reality, I think we need to start our checks from there. Yeah. Because if you are given, I have an NGO that I volunteered for, and we wrote an FOI letter to the Federal Ministry of Works. There's a particular road in this Osun that has been approved. I think 70% or thereabout of the money has been paid since Jaradua's regime. And the contractor went with the money. Billions of naira. Yeah. And such a person will come back. He will tell you I'm a philanthropist. He will organize education fund. He will bring out scholarship for giveaways. And he will do giveaways. And we say, oh, that man is a very good man. These are wealth that you are meant. These are monies that you are meant to use to develop the state, but you have actually personalized it. You've taken it as your personal money. It is a criminal offense. It is not right in the right of human and God. I hope we can just start our fight against corruption from our politicians.
Right. That will be all.
And I think we have exhausted all our dailies for today. All right. I think we have one, Daily Independent. Yeah. All right. Daily Independent newspaper for today. Foreign airlines fault CBN, say $650 million trapped funds unpaid. And inflation affects volatility volatility rather forced review of handling rates for airlines. APC considers contempt proceedings against Plateau Assembly Speaker. Remember the Speaker that said he will not recognize the 16 reinstated lawmakers after the 16 PDP lawmakers were sacked by the appeals court. So, contempt of proceedings against the speaker there. An FG to establish recycling plants in 777 local government areas. Nigeria sees increase in active voice. Internet subscriptions drop in tele density. That's on page 7. And PDP clears all 10 aspirants for Edo governorship primary. Page 29 has that story. And insecurity, Tinubu playing fiddle while Nigeria drowns. Atiku laments, says if shoes are too big for him, he should step aside. That's an advice from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the presidential candidate of the PDP in the last general election. Supreme Court affirms deregistration of Hope Democratic Party by INEC. And top corner of Daily Independent newspaper this morning. FG sets out modalities to lift national living wage. And killers of Ekiti monarchs will not escape justice. Tinubu vows, the president talking tough there. So, Ladeji, let's just take on this report I read earlier on the Plateau issue. APC considers contempt proceedings against Plateau Assembly Speaker. This Speaker said he will not recognize this newly instated, new speakers that the appeal court said they should be given their seats after the PDP members, lawmakers were sacked owing to that judgment of Governor Caleb Mutfwang at the Supreme Court, saying it's still the same, the same premises. So what's your take?
My take is the atrocity or the corruption we fail to fight today, the illegality we fail to fight today, might come back to haunt us tomorrow. Everybody, every right-thinking Nigeria asked the question, the fact that the House of Assembly members have been sacked by the appeal court, the life of the governor was, hanging in the balance, and he went to the Supreme Court. He won. So, contradiction from the judiciary there. Now, that speaks to what we have been saying all this while. We need to have a system that run by our law, not by what one person say. You remember virtually all the governors that had their case in the Supreme Court in recent time, after the president's Supreme Court case has been confirmed, virtually all of them came out to say, I thank the president for not
interfering.
It is an indictment on our judiciary itself. Because judiciary is an independent body of the executive. But if people can come out and say, I thank the president, it is an indictment. And I feel our judiciary needs to really, there is currently a project we are doing, it's called Project Trust. Judiciary really need to let people trust them again. An average Nigerian doesn't trust our judiciary. So on the issue of the Speaker of Plateau State House of Assembly, he doesn't have any power to say he will not recognize them. The court has said they are the ones, irrespective of, yes, it doesn't make sense to us. Yes, it doesn't feel right, but he just needs to respect the rule of law and respect me lords of the appeal court, and please let those guys play. And I think this is not a good time for Plateau State to go into any political whatever, because there are security challenges in the state, and which everyone must be on deck to tackle. All
right, thank you so much, Ladeji, and we appreciate you for coming on the show this morning.
It's always a pleasure. I hope there's no vehicle waiting for me outside.
No, there can't be. I mean, you have not said anything to warrant that.
Freedom of speech is guaranteed.
But your freedom after your speech is not guaranteed in Africa.
Thank you. We'll go on this break. When we'll come back, we'll switch our guests to Ekiti State to have first-hand information on what is happening. It's been not too good news in that state for the past 3-4 days. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. And just like we said before the break, our stop is in Ekiti today, Ekiti State, where it's been cases of kidnapping and killings, by the way, by criminals, armed bandits. News had it 2 days ago. Some monarchs, two monarchs, were killed, when they were attacked on the road, and this has got many person talking. The traditional rulers that sadly lost their lives due to that attack from the Moravians, by the way, were identified as Oba David Ogunshakin, the Elesun of Esun Ekiti, and Oba Olatunde Olushola, the Onimojo of Omojola Ekiti, and another monarch escaped by the whiskers. But these are the issues. In the same Ekiti state, we learned there was a kidnapping of school pupils and their teachers. And this morning, the papers have it, different ransom figures as high as 30 million naira, demanding as high as 100 million naira before the school kids and their pupils, their teachers will be released. And that's the sad reality of our nation. This is not just peculiar to Ekiti State. We've had a situation like 2-3 weeks ago. It was about the FCT, the corridor of power, Abuja Kaduna Highway, Lagos Ibadan Express Road, many other things. So now, this is really getting people worried, and we are being joined this morning by critical stakeholders on the matter. But then the Ekiti State Governor, Governor Yebanji, has been speaking on the matter and giving an update. And I would like you to see these and take a watch and a listen as well.
In that some of our traditional rulers came under violent attack of some armed men somewhere along Okeako, Ayedon Road, and that they might have been kidnapped. As there were no clear and immediate information, I quickly instructed the chairman of the concerned adjoining local government development area, Mr. Michael Ogungbemi, and other concerned responders to immediately swing to action to get more information and respond accordingly. Sadly, the information I later received confirmed that indeed 2 of our monarchs, His Royal Majesty Oba David Babatunde Ogunshakin, the Elesun of Esun Ekiti, and His Royal Majesty Oba Samuel Olatunde Olushola, the Olumojo of Imojo Ekiti, were brutally murdered by the marauders, while His Royal Majesty Oba Sunday Adebayo of Atoba, the Alara of Araikole, escaped the murderous attack narrowly. The death of these vibrant, energetic, and progressive monarchs is very sad and distressing for me personally. Before their demise, I enjoyed a very cordial relationship with them in their pursuit of accelerated development for their communities. I have enormous respect for them, for their service and commitment to the prosperity of Ekiti at large. May their soul rest in peace. I want to express my deep condolences to the immediate families of the late monarchs, their communities, and the entire members of Ekiti State Council of Traditional Rulers for the loss of these selfless royal fathers. Similarly, just yesterday, we received another disturbing news that some pupils of the Apostolic Faith Nursery and Primary School, Emure Ekiti, and their teachers, who were being conveyed home after school, were waylaid and kidnapped between Emure Ekiti and Ekporo. Security agents are currently working hard to rescue them. Our traditional rulers came under violent attack of some armed men somewhere along Okeako, Ayedon Road, and that they might have been kidnapped. As there were no clear and immediate information, I quickly instructed the chairman of the concerned adjoining local government development area, Mr. Michael Ogungbemi, and other concerned responders to immediately swing to action to get more information and respond.
All right, and That was the governor of Ekiti State, Governor Abiodun Oyebanje, speaking there, giving an update on what is really happening about the loss. We learned there were reports that it was an attempted kidnap, or kidnap attempt rather, that went wrong. And these two royal fathers lost their lives, and the Alara of Ekiti escaped by the whiskers. But then school children are being kidnapped, and people are talking about what is really happening, especially the Kwale axis, the Emure axis. In fact, Ekiti State, as it is, the governor has been talking to, the president spoke on the matter as well, said those slain monarchs will not just be forgotten. Everybody that is involved will be brought to justice. And these issues have been generating so much controversy, by the way. So these are the issues that we are battling with right now. And we are being joined this morning by Honorable Boye Garibi Shogun. He was Speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, a critical stakeholder there, son of the soil, to give us a view of what is really happening in Ekiti State. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to ask you, you are a political figure, you are a leader, you are a son of the soil in Ekiti State. Politics aside, that we are talking about humanity and leadership and security today. I'd like to ask you, does it bother you that your state, known as the fountain of knowledge, the news coming there is not about knowledge, it's not about education, it's not about progress, it's about insecurity? Two monarchs have sadly lost their lives, another one escaped by the whiskers. School children have been kidnapped, their teachers kidnapped as well. And this morning we are hearing 30 million, 100 million being mentioned as figures for their ransom. What is really going on, Honorable?
Well, it's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this we've been talking about security, about the life of our people in the last few years. And government at its own level has been trying to put a stop to criminality. But we still continue to witness all these bad events, bad happenings in our society. I think the fundamental problem is the nation's needs. The fundamental problem is about leadership. And when you talk about leadership, you talk about how leaders are seen as a problem that must be tackled. Unfortunately, we have leadership people. Unfortunately, the society has not been able to come up with a practical solution to this criminality due to a lot of factors, which I will let you know this morning. We've been talking about when I was still a reporter, I was a crime reporter, and we know that security of life and property is one of the topmost agenda of any government. But when politics comes into it, it becomes something else. Whether you call it herdsmen, or you call it kidnappers, or you call it bandits, these are functions of political activities that have now become a menace in our society. If anybody is trying to tell us that these criminals are from heaven, I disagree with them. These criminals live amongst us. They are being used to score political points. They are being used to cause mayhem. They are being used to cause unhappiness in the society. The security agencies that are serving the responsibility of maintaining peace and security of lives and property in the country has equally been politicized. And that is why we see whenever many of these criminals are arrested, they introduce politics into it. You hardly can find any one of them being prosecuted. So this has embodied those who are taking stock in trade of criminality to say that nothing will happen to them. Even if they kill more than 10, 15, 20 people a day. So it is a problem that has become so global and national in Nigeria.
All right.
Coming back to Ekiti State.
Yeah.
Ekiti State has had no share of this criminality in the last couple of years. And I can say that the government at every time have been coming up with this, what I would call maybe spontaneous reactions, spontaneous activities to stop these delays. But unfortunately, all of what we have been doing has come to have not brought any relief to the society. So I would say that the government and the people, we need to come up with a security arrangement, which we call maybe a security summit, where these issues can be properly tackled within the context of politics, within the context of humanness. Because whether you like it or not, many governments in the country today have spent a whole lot of money on security, but yet this thing continues. I think we need to look at the political aspect of it. We need to look at the capacity and the capability of the security agencies, whether they are well equipped to fight this criminality.
All right.
These are the issues that we can only be talking about. Those that have been victims have been victims. But to forestall another crisis, another game, I think effort must be made at looking at the political aspect of it, and at the same time, the capacity and the capability of the security agencies.
All right, thank you, Honorable. Quick one, you mentioned and said the people perpetrating these, you know, they are a creation, using your words, of political activities of some people to score political points. How do you mean, number one? Then number two, are you talking about in Nigeria or in Ekiti State? And number three, quick one, who are they? Who are these people that are fomenting this trouble, that are using them to score political points? Who are they exactly? Let's put a name to it. Let's put let's be categorical so that we put them to shame and we know them. We know what we are dealing with.
You see, when I talk about the political aspect of it, I'm talking about globally. Just last week on the 24th of January, the Fulani organization released a statement saying that their leader, the Bayatiala leader, was arrested and had been kept in custody. And their failure to release them in 72 hours, that they will continue not to make the country ungovernable. These statements are in the public. These are political statements coming from a group that ordinarily should not have come up with that threat statement to a nation. So, if that is happening, and we can now see that in Yoruba land, 2 prominent men were killed less than 3 days after they have made that statement. You will see that it has a political coloration. That is one. We are talking about kidnapping. Kidnapping has become a trade and a racket, being organized by some people who ordinarily were behind some of these kidnappers. The kidnappers are not just operating in isolation. They are not from heaven. The ammunition in their hands How did they get it? So all these things are what the intelligence community should have done their due diligence to find out that kidnappers will not just come to a society or a community without information. Nobody can come to your station now without knowing the place you are sitting down, and they just come in and pick you up without information. So the elements that are doing all these things are within the society. The security agencies need to look at those they have arrested and get information as to who are their sponsors and financiers.
Right.
But these are not happening. When you see that they say they have arrested some people, you will probably want to know the statement made by this criminal. They will say they are taken to court. When they get to court, they get reprieved. You won't do anything. So the capability of the security agencies and the political class need to be addressed before we can find solutions to security problems in the country.
All right.
So if anybody is trying to tell us that these criminals just come up just because they were not happy with some people or that they just needed money, then we should look at our history before now. Are these things will happen? Then what are the ethnic tolerations? What are the political tolerations? What are those things that has happened within the political space that have made the security agencies themselves be ineffective and inefficient? So these are issues. I was trying to tell some people yesterday that even those security agencies that claim that they are not doing their job, what is the morale of it? What is the morale? What has the government done in boosting their morale to be able to confront these criminals?
All right.
What are the instruments in their hand? In the southwest, we created the Amateku. They were not allowed to carry boats with AK-47. The policemen that were carrying AK-47 were not able to fight this criminality. These are issues that we need to talk at national level so that community policing, state policing can be effective in combating this criminality.
All right.
When the Southwest applied for drones and they got the drones, and the chief of the national security advisor is saying that they should not use the drone to cover the forest in the Southwest. These are political issues that we need to address.
All right.
So, frankly speaking, until we are able to come up, strategically to tell ourselves that these things are not happening from Cameroon, from Nigeria. It's happening in Nigeria, and those who are perpetrating this are Nigerians. So let us look at the political factor, look at the capacity of the agencies, and the patriotic duty of those who are studying the duty of battle crime. It is then we can be talking of a holistic approach and a holistic solution to the problem.
All right.
All that has been happening is the face value. Now we are looking at it as a base value. If we can stop it this way through, another one will write this way.
All right,
it is still part of the political activity of Nigerians who are elected to make Nigeria the way it is now.
All right. Thank you so much for that elaborate summation, Honorable Aribishogun. Firstly, I'd like to condole with the people of Ekiti State, because hearing such news coming from Ekiti State is really, really heart-wrenching, honestly. But speaking to what you have said this morning about the holistic approach that the government needs to take, would you agree that the government somewhat is, our leaders in government somewhat are reactive rather than being proactive? Because we'd like to first look into the security architecture in Ekiti State, knowing that Ekiti State is a major passage to travelers. A lot of people, a lot of commuters pass through Ekiti to other places, even going to the north. So we'd like to interrogate the security architecture. A major attack took place in Owo in the year 2022. And just after that, the government were reactive to that. Then after some time, it died down and everyone went back to their normal businesses. Then we had this major attack in Ekiti in this year, 2024. So would you agree that majorly, a major cause is that the government is being reactive rather than being proactive in nature when it comes to security issues in our states or in our nation as a whole?
Well, I would say that the government of the state has tried its best to ensure that we do not have these recent activities any longer. I remember vividly that the governor during the 1 year anniversary was very emphatic about the role that the security agencies will play in the state. And when you look at the security aspect of the state, the police are also doing their best. Every time you go through the 10 kilometers road, you still find policemen trying to check and try to see that the road is free. But unfortunately, these axes, where this matter, this don't happen, had always been an axis of evil, because the Fulani herdsmen have been living in that environment because of the cattle ranch we had here in the past. And these people have been there for over 100 years. Anytime there is a need for them to acclimatize, to just allow the people in that environment to do their farming, they take to the environment. And I remember the government had done that something, to a lot of legislation and the kind of sensitization. But unfortunately, this incident that happened because there is going to they are going for a security meeting. And because of the statement that they have made, they said that the security committee in that zone should go and meet at the relay. And on their way, on the way, this attacker, who we already know that are always the key no attack them and kill them. So it is an isolated thing when you look at the north area where these things have been happening in the last couple of years. It has been herdsmen and farmers crisis. But this particular incident is what I would say that is politically motivated. And that is why, if you are blaming the government has put in place a lot of things in the state that ordinarily none of these issues to happen again. But unfortunately, because it's a guerrilla attack, how can you take guerrilla attack bombs? That is one. Secondly, on the issue of kidnapping, like I said, it has become a trade. And those who are applying that trade will always feel that because they do not have most of that they will always fight once to work them together. And that has become a phenomenon that we are talking about having the government and the people in the society to meet and organize a security summit where the issue of kidnapping will be tackled holistically. So the government is not and is not to that, but I can say that when you have political issues alongside any phenomenon, it becomes very difficult to tackle unless you are able to rally the stakeholder to get the practical solution to it.
All right, Honorable, before we allow you to go, because we are pressed for time, you represent the people of EVELYN 1 constituency. So, and some of those issues happen on that route. I'd like to ask you, now that this has happened, what's next? Governor Yebangi has spoken about it, but you're a leader of thought, you're a leader of influence, a very big one in that constituency, in those communities. What's next? And number two, the former governor, late governor of Ondo State, Arakunri, was so vocal about the protection, the security of the Southwest. In fact, there was a time that they told everybody that if you're in the forest, you should leave the forest. It became controversial at the time, and he went for that to say, Akeredolu was very strong, let everybody leave the forest, because people believe those guys in the forest are the one coming out to do this abduction. But it seems the governors have really gone low on this. Will you say it's because Arakunrin was incapacitated at some point, and later he passed on, and it seemed the governors of the Southwest are not really too vocal the way Arakunrin was. Will you agree to that submission?
Well, I want to say that the issue of asking those people to leave the forest, or the manner in which the former governor of the state approached the issue in his domain at that time. The situations are different, the circumstances are different in every state. I've been part of a committee that has gone through, gone through the Southwest to look at what can be done to tackle this problem when I was still in the House of Assembly. And I knew that the circumstances are different. In Ekiti State, when I say something, some people have been living in an environment for more than 140 years, and they have never committed any trouble for more than 100 years. And suddenly you now ask them to leave the environment. It will create an ethnic crisis, because many of them, they are no longer speaking Hausa, they are no longer speaking Fulani, they are speaking Islam language. So it becomes very tough for you to say that Aderebelu has gone to the government reserve forest to ask them to leave the position from when you have a community of Fulani that have been there for so many years that have not committed any crime to just leave the place. These criminals will just come into them, threaten them that they want to operate, and I think that they will come up and operate, and then they run away. Those that have been arrested in the past are not living within the community in those areas.
All right.
They are just developers that will come in there at night and stay for 1 or 2 days and operate and leave the place.
All right.
So the criminal gangs are not living there.
Can you hear me? Yes.
These are issues that I said the circumstantial. The situation is not the same everywhere.
All right.
So, and the state government at every time has organized meetings between the Fulani community and the Yoruba community in that area.
All right, Honorable.
And the chairman of that community and the community meeting at the point. So, and I can tell you that most of the Fulanis living in that area are people. These people are not violent people.
Right.
But these criminals will come in from somewhere and operate within that environment, claiming to be Fulanis in that environment.
All right.
So the security agencies will be able to reach out these criminal elements, their intelligence, guard. It is not as pronounced as the way people are looking at it.
All right, Honorable.
These are criminals that security agencies can reach out.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. You have to go. I asked you a question, but we are pressed for time. That's what's next. These are your people. They have been abducted. The criminals are asking for money. So what next?
Well,
children.
What I think next, what is next is that we should be proactive more by organizing this summit at the same time, calling the security agencies to be aligned with their responsibilities, particularly in the area of the intelligence gathering.
All right.
You cannot fight crime without intelligence gathering.
All right.
I've been in the system before, so and I know that it is only intelligence gathering that can give you concise information to meet these criminalities in the world.
Right.
So the security agencies must be well attuned to that community gathering, intelligence gathering, before they can find these people.
All right.
It's not about the people alone. The people have been talking that they should give information. Yes, the society or the community can give information.
Thank you, Honorable.
But at the same time, the security agencies, particularly the intelligence community, must be ready and be fast to get information as to leave these things in the ball.
All right.
That's what is next.
Thank you.
I'm not demanding, not demanding or making statements here and there.
All right.
The intelligence communities must do their job. They are supposed to give us information. That's why they are being paid.
All right. Honorable Goyega Aribishogun, former Speaker, Ekiti State House of Assembly, thank you for your take, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. All right. That was Honorable Goyega Aribishogun. He was a Speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, representing the EVELYN Ekiti 1 state constituencies. speaking on the matter. We'll go on this break. When we'll come back, we'll speak to those who know, who should know, that person that speaks for the Nigerian Police Ekiti State Command. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back. It's still the conversation on Morning Spring, and we have been interrogating the sad incident that occurred on Monday in Ekiti State, considered the fountain of knowledge. 2 monarchs were killed, and some pupils and teachers were abducted by unknown gunmen. But these people have reached out to the families of the kidnapped victims to ask for ransom. Different figures flying. And different reports by different national dailies. We're hearing 30 million, we're hearing 100 million, but whatever it is a sad situation that pupils, little children, are right now in the hands of kidnappers, and we do not know what they are going through at this time. To help us know more about the situation, what actually happened, and what the security agencies are doing at this time to rescue these children, we are being joined virtually by the police public relations officer in Ekiti State Command, DSP Sunday Abutu. Good morning to you, DSP. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and I'm happy to be here in this room.
All right, so just let us know how that incident happened that day. What are the reports that you have heard? How many pupils were kidnapped? How many teachers were kidnapped in that incident on Monday? And have you been able to get a hold of what the abductors are saying? Because we are hearing different figures in the different reports by the different national dailies. Just let us into what is happening, or what has happened and what is happening at the time.
Thank you very much. It happened on 29th when these events were open in their people. Then unknown gunmen came out and started shooting locally. And report we got was that 5 of them were taken away, that they abducted 2 parents, 1 doctor, making 9 of were abducted. And then immediately we got the information with natives to they exist, they're talking, they are still in the bush that day. We've not been able to really get into it, but we promise to continue to do our best to ensure that the victims are all alive. Meanwhile, during the coming operations, there were some suspects that were arrested. They are still under investigation, and we'll continue to do our best to see that these people, the victims are freed, and the suspects are arrested.
Right, DSP Abutu, the abductors, have they reached out? What are their demands? What do they want?
Yes, actually, we have not heard anything from them. What we are after is to ensure that this student and the both victims are safe. We've not heard anything. We've not called to demand for ransom, and nobody has told us that they are called to demand for any ransom. And that's why we are taking an abduction, not kidnapping yet, because nobody has told us that anybody has started demanding for ransom. But we'll continue to do our best. Our men have started funding the bush, and we are sure of that we are.
All right, but DSP, there are reports in different quarters that the abductors reached out to the husband, to one of the teachers, and also reached out to the parents, to one of the pupils, demanding for 100 million naira ransom.
And that's why we told the family members, the teachers, to always cooperate with us. If they have any information from the abductors, or kidnappers, as we want to describe them, they should let us know. But I think we need one. Nobody has come out to say this is what they are saying. This is the phone number that called and so on. And without this, with this, if they can come up with the phone number or the phone number of the person who called, we will be able to track the phone number and see how we can track those people. So we have always encouraged them to cooperate with us. If they get anything from them, we call them, they can cooperate. But now this is a rumor.
All right. So officially, as of now, you've not heard any report or any information from this from the abducted family members that this kidnappers reached out to them demanding for ransom.
We have not, but based on what we said now, we will proceed to meet the family members and the school authority. If actually this is true, we will go and confirm that, and then we'll try to get the phone number that's in the call and see what will happen.
All right, so we hear that about 25 pupils were in that bus on that fateful day, but these abductors went away with 5 of the pupils. I'd like to know if you are in touch with the remaining, pupils that were left behind, and would like to know if you have interrogated their maybe their parents or people around them as to what really happened that day, because I know it will be traumatizing for those pupils to have experienced that incident that day.
So the trauma will be there, and the information I gave you earlier about this gunmen coming out periodically, one report is just from those on ground, the eyewitness, and those that were able to escape. So we'll be able to interact with them. And what they have told them, what we've gathered so far, is not something that I should take here for now. It is for our own concern, for our operation. So as details come up and as we get headway, we will update it.
All right, according to reports, we learned they were returning. The school is Apostolic Faith School, and that they were returning from Ekpore, Ekiti. I hope I got that right. And that incident happened in Emure, Ekiti. I'd like to ask you, is it usual? Is that like a usual occurrence on that route? This is just a new
It's never a usual occurrence. This is the first. This is the first time this will happen. Myself, I've not heard this type of incident happening in the city. That never happened before, where two children in their birth will be abducted or kidnapped. That never happened, and this calls for concern, and we are going to really work on it and make sure that this does not be a problem.
All right, DSP, almost on the same day, 2 monarchs were attacked and they were killed, and this has generated so much anger from the people. The state governor, Governor Abiodun, has spoken on it. The president has spoken on it as well. And some were thinking, was it an assassination? Was it a kidnap attempt? So many narratives. I'd like you to tell us what really happened, or what will be your assessment of those slain monarchs?
Thank you very much. It was actually a black day for us in the state, to the security operatives, to the police. I mean, that 29th of January 2024, it was not a good day for us at all, because we're trying to see what really happened in Calais. That is the killing of robbers. When the issue of the school board being attacked, the report came to us. So on that day, we received a report that 3 cabins were
heading from Ijowa, the place we call Ijowa, Ikiti. They were heading from the place, and gunmen came out from forest and attacked their car, and 2 of them were shot. They were actually 2 and were confirmed dead. 1 of them escaped. So we are looking at not an attempted kidnapping, but a pure of murder. We are treating a case of murder, and we will ensure that those behind are fished out. We were sure that they are arrested.
Okay. All right, DSP.
Have been deployed that, and we are going to ensure that these people do not go just like that.
All right, DSP, just before we let you go, you mentioned earlier that some suspected kidnappers have been apprehended. I think you mentioned the number 5 of them. I would like to know if they are helping you with the investigations on ground. You know, according to reports, they said they were found with some things, cutlasses, dagger and knives, and also some phones. So we'd just like you to expatiate on that before we let you go.
Yes, during our bush combing operation in Kere, is Emure to Ikole at this. You know, it's a very vast forest that we have there. We have here in the state. So during our bush combing operation, we saw those people in that very thick forest where nobody is existing. And they were found with 2 motorcycles, daggers, and other things like that. So they earlier said they were herdsmen, and further questions were thrown to them, and they were not able to. No cow, actually was found with them, nothing. They were with nothing in that forest. And so we have started interrogating them. They are giving us information, and as I said earlier, some of this information are not said now, and not being now. They are helping us with credible information. So we are on it.
All right. Thank you so much. Would have definitely loved to, interrogate further, but definitely we are out of time. But we know in the coming days, we would like to have you back so that we will know the development on this particular issue. Once more, we sympathize with the people of Ekiti State, and we hope that this occurrence does not happen again. Thank you so much, DSP Sunday Abutu.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, DSP Sunday Abutu, there is the police public relations officer, Ekiti State Command, speaking to that sad incident in Ekiti State. Femi, we have to round off now.
Yes, we have to do that. We have been in Ekiti today. That's, a fountain of knowledge. But then we hope they use all the knowledge that they have to unravel the mystery behind these. Honorable Arabi Shogun spoke about many things, and we just add DSP Abutu on the matter as well. Let Ekiti be safe. Let Nigeria be safe. That's the basic function of any serious government. Femi Ojo is my name. Thank you for being with us on the program today. The last one for January. By the time we come tomorrow, God willing, it will be a new one in the new month. Again, God bless Nigeria.
Amen to your prayers. My name is EVELYN. Stay tuned for Spring Trends coming right after.